Hello, today we're going to continue learning about volume. You are going to be given a few word problems in today's activities. When you have each word problem, it is very, very important that you read the entire problem before determining how to solve. This problem here is asking us the following questions. A carton of juice is 8 centimeters long, 5 centimeters wide, and 20 centimeters tall. What is the volume of the carton? So first thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to underline the question here. What is the volume of the carton? So our goal is that we are finding the volume. That is our key word. Now when we have a carton, we know that a carton is actually a rectangular prism. Therefore, we can use the formula volume equals my length times my width times my height. Now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to replace my length with my given length here. Now I see here that my given length is 8 centimeters long. So instead of writing an L, I'm going to write an 8. Now I'm also going to do the same thing for the width. I'm going to substitute that W with 5 centimeters wide because that's what was given to us as our dimensions in the problem. And now instead of writing H, I'm going to write my height of 20 centimeters tall. That's telling me that the height of the carton of juice is 20 centimeters tall. Now I like taking this into 2 steps just to prevent any mistakes from occurring. I underline the operation that I'm about to do first. So I have 8 times 5 is 40, and I still have times 20. Now, I can write on the side 40 times 20, but I also notice I have 0 here and here. I'm going to actually underline those zeros, box out what's important. And I actually can do 4 times 2 is 8. And now I'm still going to include these 2 zeros representing 100, and 8 times 100 is 800, including those 2 zeros now in my answer choice. Now we have 800 cubic centimeters, or you can write centimeters cubed as well, cubic centimeters, or you could use cm cubed. Both are correct. Now notice again, I'm going to look back at my question. It says what is the volume of the carton, and I successfully found that it is 800 cubic centimeters is the volume of the carton of juice. My next problem says a gym locker is 2 meters wide, 3 meters deep, and 3 5/10 meters tall. How much could you fit into this locker? Now, how much could you fit into this locker is the question this problem is asking me. This question, when it's saying how much space is inside of something, how much can you fit inside of something, that is the definition of volume. So even though we don't see volume written anywhere in this question, the question is telling us by the description that we need to find the volume of this gym locker. And I also notice my dimensions that are given to me, in fact, are my length, my width, and my height. And we know a gym locker is shaped like a rectangular prism, so that's telling me to find the volume. I just do length times width times my height. Notice in this problem, nowhere does it say volume. It's very, very important that you read the problem fully to determine exactly what you need to find. Now I'm going to replace my length, my width, and my height for the given numbers in my problem. So here, my length and my width, I have 2 meters wide and 3 meters deep. So I have 3 times 2. And I have a height of 3 5/10, which is telling me 3 5/10 meters tall. That also represents my height. Now, just like the previous problems, I like breaking this into 2 steps, underlining exactly what I'm doing. 3 times 2 is 6, times 3 5/10. Now, this is an example. I have decimals, so now I need to think, what do I do when I'm multiplying decimals? Well, first thing I'm going to do on the side here, I'm actually going to rewrite it just to confirm that I don't make any mistakes. It helps me when I'm solving these problems. Using scrap paper to rewrite that is absolutely fine. Now, what I'm going to do is I first eliminate my decimal point by multiplying by 10, and I'm going to just record that on the side. Now I can simply multiply. 5 times 6 is 30. 6 times 3 is 18, plus 3 is 21, so 210. However, 210 is not my final answer. Since I multiplied by 10 in my question, I look at my answer, and now I'm going to divide by 10, moving my decimal point. I'll write down divide by 10, which is telling me I move that decimal point one place to the left. So many of you in your answers, you write 21 and 0/10. But we don't have any tenths by adding that decimal point in the 0. So really 21 and 0/10 is exactly the same as 21. And when I write my final answer, I'm simply going to write just 21, and you can write cubic centimeters and spell it out, or you could use centimeters cubed is correct as well. Either explanation is absolutely fine as long as you're including your unit of measurement here. So again, I go back to my question, how much could fit into this locker? And yes, my answer is 21 centimeters cubed, which is exactly what I answered here, and I did successfully answer this problem. Now my next problem says Evan bought a rectangular recycling bin that has a length of 7 centimeters, a width of 9 centimeters, and a height of 12 4/10 centimeters. What is the volume of the recycling bin? So in this problem, it does include volume, it does include recycling bin, and I notice here my recycling bin is rectangular, which is forming a rectangular prism. That's telling me to find the volume. I have a rectangular prism. So I can do my length times my width times my height. Now, just like we did for the other previous problems, I'm going to now substitute my L for the given length of 7 centimeters. I'm going to substitute my W with the given width of 9 centimeters. And I'm going to substitute my height with the given height of 12 4/10. Notice I'm rewriting this all on scrap paper to help me keep me nice and organized when solving this problem. 7 times 9 is 63. Times 12 4/10. Now this is another great problem. I have to recall my multiplying decimal skills. So what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to write this on the side. 12 4/10 times 63, but I see a decimal point here. So the first thing I'm going to do is multiply by 10, moving that decimal point one place to the right. Now I'm just going to record times 10 here, because now that's going to remind me in my answer, I need to divide by 10 to put that decimal point back in my answer choice. So now that I eliminated my decimal, I can solve by just simply multiplying the normal way I multiply here. Now notice I'm already recalling that information, exactly how to multiply a 3 by 2 digit number here. So notice I'm using my scrap paper to do my work, which is absolutely fine, and I encourage all of you to be doing that as well. And now let me do this to find my final answer. And I'm getting very, very close, but notice the answer here is not my final answer. There's still one more step. So here I actually recorded on the side that I need to divide by 10 because I multiplied by 10 in my question. In my final answer, I need to divide by 10 by moving that decimal point one place to the left, giving me a final volume of 781 2/10 centimeters cubed, or you can have cubic centimeters as well as your final answer. Now I'm just going to go back to my question to make sure I fully answered everything. It says, what is the volume of the recycling bin? And in fact, I did find the volume of this recycling bin, which is 781 2/10 cubic centimeters, or centimeters cubed, which is your final answer. Whenever you are given any type of word problem, it is very, very important that you follow these steps. You need to read the problem first always. Then go back and reread if you need. Underline the question. Identify what they're asking you to do. And then recall any of your prior knowledge or recall concepts previously learned to help you solve these problems. As always, feel free to refer back to this video at any time to help you with today's activities.